Welcome back to the 2-Minute Warning. Today I'm taking a look at the Sunday football match between the Arizona Cardinals at the Tennessee Titans. This is going to be a crazy matchup, Kyler Murray versus Ryan Tannehill, as you can see on the screen. And I'm going to be getting into the breakdown, the comparison, my fantasy picks, my predictions, everything about this game that you want and need to know. But before that topic, I gotta hear from you guys to see how we match up. What is your score predictions? Drop them down below, and you'll kind of hear mine throughout and at the end. But getting straight into it, like I said, you can see Kyler Murray and Ryan Tannehill matching up in this game. This is going to be quite a shootout in this game. Not necessarily through the air, but just as far as points go, I do think this could be relatively high scoring. If you consider the additions that the Titans made this offseason, more specifically, as we know, the elephant in the room being Julio Jones. Obviously, they added a couple other guys, Bud Dupree, Janoris Jenkins, Caleb Farley, yada, yada, yada. But Julio Jones, top 10 receiver, top 5 receiver, top 3 receiver, arguably, just depends where you have them. That is going to have a big, big impact on this game, especially against the Cardinals' questionable secondary. But before I get any further, if you guys are looking to make some real cash on this game, or you're feeling really confident about the Titans, you're feeling really confident about the Cardinals, whoever you're feeling confident about, even if you're one fan of the other, but you want to make some money based on the other team, you want them to lose, and you want to make money off of them, head over to Thrive Fantasy. Look at some of these fantasy picks you can roll with. You're feeling good about Tannehill, over 250 passing yards, hit the over, you can make some cash. You're feeling good about Derrick Henry having over 105.5 yards. Excuse me, I guess you guys did not see that. 250 yards for Tannehill, hit the over on this one, you can make some money. If you're feeling confident about Derrick Henry, over 105.5 rushing yards, hit the over. You're feeling good about the Titans defense shutting down Kyler, hit the under. Whatever your opinion is, if you're looking to make some cash, head over to Thrive Fantasy. These are some easy fantasy picks, and it's not just Cardinals, Titans, there's all kinds. You can go to the Bills, Steelers, there's the Bucks, there's the Cowboys, there's the Niners, there's every team on there. But like I said, if you want to root for your team or root against for this matchup even more and you're looking to make some money, head over to Thrive Fantasy. I'll leave a link in the video and in the bio, and you can use code 2MW, 2MW again, and it'll match your first deposit. But even if not, there are some free contests as well. But again, looking at this matchup, even taking a closer look at the depth chart, like I said, the elephant in the room for the Titans in the offseason moves was adding Julio Jones. He was the big man, and Bud Dupree. But Cardinals as well, just getting back alone, Chandler Jones, having him be on this team, that in itself is pretty much a big addition. But they weren't done there. You know, they added Zayvon Collins in the draft. J.J. Watt was added to them. I'm a little questionable about the secondary. Like I said, they had Malcolm Butler, former Titan, but then he somewhat retired. He was just done. So it's questionable. But looking at the beginning, looking at the offense, breaking it down, Kyler Murray versus Ryan Tannehill. This is probably one of the more even matchups in the league, not as far as playing style goes, but just amongst quarterback rankings. I think a lot of people would argue that they're 8 and 9, 9 and 10, 10, 11, 11 and 12, 13, 14. They're right around that range of being right behind each other as far as quarterback rankings go, so you really can't give one a superior edge over the other. That's extremely significant, at least in my opinion. Looking at the backfield, though, Chase Edmonds, James Conner, you think they're going to match up well against this big man right here? Definitely not. Derrick Henry is the King Henry. He's the best running back in the league, arguably. So the Cardinals' run game, that edge is going to the Titans. Receiving room, this is where things get good. I'm going to just break it down in the first page so you guys could just look at the comparisons and not see me sliding back and forth. But like I said, D-Hop versus A.J. Brown, that matchup alone, you're going to lean towards D-Hop. But after that, Julio Jones versus A.J. Green, two older receivers that are still looking to make a turnaround. I would say Julio Jones has a much higher likelihood of turning it around compared to A.J. Green, but still, guys that used to be at the top of the league, still looking to show they can be at the top of the league. And then at your third strings, you got Christian Kirk on the Cardinals, along with Rondell Moore versus Josh Reynolds on the Titans. Anthony Firkser as well as a big tight end option for the Titans. So, somewhat of an even receiving room, somewhat in a sense if you break it down in that way. You could also say Titans got 2 top 10 receivers, Cardinals got 1 top 10 receiver. That alone is my argument, and I'm leaning towards the Titans in the receiving room, and I can't exactly argue against that to the nth degree, but we'll just have to see how the receiving rooms pan out. Again, some of these new guys and older guys, we don't know what they're going to be exactly. While I still believe in Julio Jones, I have to see it before I truly believe it. Same thing with AJ Green, and yada, yada, yada. So, it's pretty even right now. Like I said, the quarterback split can go either way. The receiving room can somewhat go either way. I would lean towards the Titans personally, but the backfield all the way Henry. And offensive line, when healthy, I do think the Titans have a better one. I like the Cardinals adding Rodney Hudson, but I just think when healthy, the Titans definitely have the better line. Now, getting to the defense. This is where things are iffy for both teams. Again, I love what the Cardinals did as far as getting J.J. Watt, getting Zavon Collins, having Chandler Jones, and having Isaiah Simmons entering his second year just to find a better position and a better spot for him, I think is really going to help out this team. Jordan Hicks as well. I'm a pretty big fan of him at the linebacker position, but this secondary is not going to cut it against A.J. Brown and Julio Jones. I love Budda Baker, and I kind of like Byron Murphy. Marco Wilson, he's going to be a rookie, but he came from University of Florida. That's where I go, so I'm somewhat of a fan of him, of course. But do I think he can take on Julio Jones? Probably not, and that is why this scared me for the Cardinals. Looking at the Titans, I'm not acting like their defense is perfect either. But I would argue their secondary is slightly better. Again, neither are jaw-dropping. No, not at all. But Kevin Byard and Amani Hooker are two pretty good safeties. Amani Hooker more specifically on the come-up. Kevin Byard, he's more established, but Amani, he's looking to hit that next level, and I think he can. Janoris Jenkins, he's kind of been bouncing around. I'm a big fan of him. I think it's just because when I was younger, I liked the nickname Jackrabbit Jenkins, but I still like him to be an option for this Titans team that was just needing a corner. Caleb Farley, that's obviously a project, but still, neither are great. But if you told me to pick one, I guess the Titans, I would lean towards them ever so slightly in the secondary pass rush. I love the addition of Bud Dupree helping out Big Jeff, but I got to roll with the Cardinals front seven or front four on this one. So again, it's kind of a split team. Coaching staff, I'm definitely going to take Mike Vrabel over Cliff Kingsbury. Cliff Kingsbury might not have a job at the end of the year, but you break it down. Quarterback, I think it's split. Pick your poison, whoever you want. Cardinals or Titans, Tannehill or Murray. It's even. Backfield, we're going to go with the Titans. So they have one edge over the other. Receiving room, I'm going to go with the Titans. They have two edges over the Cardinals. Offensive line, Titans. They have three edges over the Cardinals. Again, this is all opinion-based, and it's all argumental. So I do think you can argue it one way or the other. Backfield, if you're arguing for the Cardinals, don't even talk to me. That's just not the same thing. Obviously, if you want to consider Kyler being on the ground and helping him out in the run game, that's one thing. But as far as pure running back and pure backfield goes, Titans got that one. But the rest I do think are somewhat debatable. Defense, way I put it, not by much, but I would give the Titans a hair edge on the secondary. And in the linebacker core, in the front four, and the front seven, I got to go with the Cardinals. I just believe in a lot of the raw talent these players have, and I'm really excited to see how the pass rush is with Zavon Collins, with Chandler Jones, with J.J. Watt. As you can see, it's somewhat even all around for the most part for me. If you look at the odds for this game, I don't want to say it's neck and neck, but 58.9% to 41.1%. Titans being favored. This is close you're going to pretty much get. Excuse me, I guess you couldn't see that, guys, there. 58.9 and 41.1. I just did a Seahawks-Colts video. That was 55-44, I think, or 55.5 and 44.5. So that's as really close as you're going to get outside of that, but this is another really close matchup that could just go either way. And the one other factor that has me leaning towards possibly the Titans is the fact that it's at home. Look, I think Kyler has a huge ceiling, and he could be a dark horse MVP candidate, but so can Tannehill. Both of these teams are just really maybe 1 year away, or this year right now, ready to hit that next level. It's just a matter of time of hurry or wait. I'd say the Titans are a little bit more ready, but the Cardinals, don't count them out yet. They got the weapons, D-Hop, Kyler. They got the pass rush, JJ, Chandler, Zavon. We just have to see if some of these older guys can really pan out for both teams. Julio Jones. It's not that he's super old, but just can he be the top 5 receiver they wanted in that trade? And same thing for the Cardinals, Can Chandler Jones and JJ Watt still pull out some double-digit sacks on each side? Can AJ Green show he doesn't have to be a top 5 receiver like Julio, but can he be a top 25 receiver? Can he reach that status again? Those are the small factors that are really going to determine who wins this game. Obviously, there's a trenches battle, who wins there. And I'm curious to see the better O-line on the Titans versus the better pass rush on the Cardinals matchup. But we'll just have to see how it goes, guys. This is a close game to me. I think it will be possibly one score, if not less game, as in 1 touchdown or less, 7 points versus 3 points versus 2 points versus 1 point. We'll just have to see. If you ask me my score prediction, I would ever so slightly lean towards the Titans in an extremely close matchup. Something like 31-28, 28-24. But I could easily see it be flipped the other way around. 31-28, another Hail Mary, and the Cardinals win this one. I do think the Cardinals have that potential to create a small upset. They are a small underdog in this game. But if you told me to put my money on the line, I would unconfidently, so I'm being honest, put it on the Titans again. If I had to pick one, I would say the Titans. You can see the spread's only 3 points, so it's anyone's game. It's a field goals game. If you told me to pick, I would say the Titans, but again, I wouldn't be 100% for sure certain put all my money in the bank on that one. But we'll just have to see how it turns out. Either way, this is one of my more favorite matches for the upcoming Week 1 kickoff to the NFL season. But you guys tell me, like I said in the beginning of the video, who do you have winning this game and what is your score prediction? Like I said, I think it would be a touchdown or less advantage and win by the Titans, but we'll have to see if that comes to fruition. As always, and of course, guys, thank you for watching.